Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Microbiology with Deepak. In this video lecture, we will discuss the procedure step by step in detail of Southern blotting technique and also discuss the definition and application of Southern blotting technique. So without wasting any more time, let's start the video quickly. Southern blotting technique was discovered by Dr. Edwin Southern in 1975. Southern blotting technique is a very useful technique in molecular biology. With its help, we can detect specific DNA sequences. This means the DNA sequence of our gene of interest is that we can detect with the help of Southern blotting technique. The three most important steps in Southern blotting techniques are agarose gel electrophoresis. In agarose gel electrophoresis, we separate DNA fragment by providing electric current on the basis of molecular weight. The second important step is transfer of DNA fragment onto a membrane. In this step, we transfer the DNA fragment onto the nitrocellulose membrane, which is also called nylon membrane. This process is also called the blotting technique. The third most important step of Southern blotting technique is hybridization with a labeled probe. The main purpose of the Southern blotting technique is to detect the desired DNA sequence and examine it. If there is a mutation occurring in a gene, or there is a multiple formation of a gene, or excessive growth of any gene, to study such genes, Southern blotting technique is very useful. Even this technique is very useful in forensic science also, like paternity testing and DNA fingerprinting. DNA fingerprinting is a very interesting topic. This topic we will discuss in a particular lecture. So now let's discuss the procedure of Southern blotting technique. The first step is DNA digestion of the Southern blotting technique. This is our double-stranded DNA. It can be prokaryotic, either eukaryotic DNA. Look at the bottom. The point you see is our gene of interest. We know the sequence of the gene of interest, or whether the restriction site present near the gene of interest is also known. That's why we use the restriction enzyme which can attach to the restriction site and digest the DNA. Or we can say it create many fragments of DNA. This is what we call DNA digestion. See in this diagram that our restriction site specific to restriction enzyme has been used, and this restriction enzyme cut the DNA. These fragments also contain our gene of interest. Now, how to analyze them? To analyze the gene of interest, we perform the second step, agarose gel electrophoresis. See in the diagram, the gel tray is filled with the buffer. Here you can see, here is the buffer solution, and above it the agarose gel is filled. We create well in agarose gel with the help of comb. The sample appears to be loaded in the wells. These are the wells. Here we can load the samples. The gel tray remains connected with two electrodes. Here are the two electrodes. The wells are present in the tray. On one side, the cathode, which contain negative charge electrode, is attached. On the other side, the anode, which contain the positive charge of electrode, is attached. In gel electrophoresis, we load the sample into the wells. So here we load the sample, and these where we load the sample, these are called wells. The sample means we have fragments of our DNA in which our gene of interest is also present. We load the sample into the wells. After loading it, provide the electric current. DNA fragment in the agarose gel are separated on the basis of molecular weight. Its duration is 45 to 90 minutes. Now these separated DNA are double-stranded. These are not single-stranded. Okay. Then the third step is denaturation process. After electrophoresis is complete, The agarose gel is kept dipped in an alkali solution for 1 to 3 minutes. Alkali solution is the solution of NaOH or HCl. Alkali solution break the hydrogen bond present in between the two strands of DNA. Due to this, both the strands of DNA get separated, meaning a double-stranded DNA gets converted into a single-stranded. Now we have a single-stranded DNA present. Okay. Now we have performed fourth step, mean we have to perform blotting step. The process of transferring separated DNA strand to the nitrocellulose membrane is called blotting technique. See the diagram. We keep the single-stranded DNA contain agarose gel dipped in the transfer buffer solution. So here the agarose gel tray contain the single-stranded DNA, and we keep the single-stranded DNA contain agarose gel tray dipped in the transfer buffer solution. Then nitrocellulose membrane, or we can say also nylon membrane, is placed on the top of the agarose gel. Nitrocellulose membrane contain a positive charge. Then a few paper of towel are placed on the top of the membrane, and a little weight is placed on the paper towel. This transfer buffer solution create movement in the upward direction via capillary action. Look at the diagram. The transfer buffer solution create a movement in the upward direction via capillary action. DNA contain a negative charge, then appears to be attached to nitrocellulose membrane contain positive charge. When the paper towel starts to get wet, it means that our sample has been transferred to the membrane. Same pattern DNA fragment are transferred from the agarose gel on the membrane. Now our blotting step has been completed. Then the fifth step is baking and blocking. We perform the baking step so that the DNA transfer to our membrane can bind properly to the membrane. Fixing is done by heat treatment in the baking step. By giving heat treatment, DNA becomes tightly bound to the membrane. After baking, we have to perform the blocking step. To prevent non-specific binding site, the membrane is treated with casein or BSA. BSA means bovine serum albumin. Where DNA fragments are not present, BSA block the non-specific binding site of the membrane. After doing the blocking step, the next step is we hybridize the labeled probe with DNA. What are labeled probe? A probe is basically a short oligonucleotide sequence that has a detector molecule present, which is our gene of interest. Labeled probe has its complementary sequence. In our blocking step, the non-specific binding site was blocked on the membrane with the help of BSA or casein, where the DNA sequence was not present. When the membrane is treated with the probe solution, the labeled probe binds to its complementary DNA sequence. This process is called hybridization. When the membrane is treated with the probe solution, the labeled probe binds to the complementary DNA sequence. Okay, in the hybridization process, probe are the complementary DNA sequence which can bind to the single-stranded DNA. In the last step, we visualize the gene of interest. Labeled probe that treats with desired DNA are radio-labeled. When these radio-labeled probe bind to their complementary DNA sequences, we visualize them with the help of autoradiogram. With the help of the test, we find out whether our gene of interest has been transferred across the membrane or not. So in this way, we perform the Southern blotting technique. Now some application of Southern blotting techniques have been discussed below. Number 1. Whether DNA is present in a sample or not, we can detect with the help of Southern blotting technique. Another one, DNA fingerprinting is also an example of Southern blotting technique. Southern blotting technique is used for paternity testing, criminal identification, and victim identification. This technique is also used to detect and identify the desired DNA of the interest. Southern blotting technique is also used for genetic disorder detection. So this is all about southern blotting technique. If you like the video, then please like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more interesting and informative topics. Thank you. Have a good day ahead.